So, hello everybody. Welcome to another session on literary theory criticism. And we are doing this for the Kerala PSC HSST students. HSST high school, higher secondary school teacher post. So we have lots of questions today also. I'm sure our students are all excited to learn with us, Ankita.
Yes,
How are you today, Ankita?
I'm great.
Wonderful. So we are plunging into literary criticism, theory, and cultural studies. Oh my God, there are three big statements here. The following are statements relating to T.S. Eliot's essay, Tradition and the Individual Talent. Which of these are true? The essay was first published in 1919 and was later included in Eliot's collection, The Sacred Wood, in 1920. Is it true? I think yes. Poetry is not a turning loose of emotion, but an escape from emotion. It is not the expression of personality, but an escape from personality. That means you can't just show your personality and emotion in the text, in the poem. You have to escape from it. This statement presents a critique of Wordsworth's definition of poetry in his preface. Is that true? Does it present a critique of Wordsworth's definition of poetry, where Wordsworth is talking about the involvement of the poet? Yes. To drive home the concept of impersonality in art, Eliot uses the example of a gas chamber into which hydrogen and sulfur dioxide are put in the presence of filiated platinum. Ankita, this is a PYQ. I think
Yes,
all these statements are true. What do you say, Ankita?
I think the first two are true, and the third is wrong because Eliot in his essay does not exactly talk about any gas chamber, and
Ah,
also
correct.
hydrogen was not mentioned. Yeah,
Oh, hydrogen is not mentioned.
no.
Very correct. Sulfur dioxide and oxygen, I think. Sulfurous
Yes.
acid is created in the presence of platinum. Gas chamber is Ankita's imagination in the question. This is not a concentration camp where, so guys, as soon as you see platinum, don't click the correct answer because you have to read carefully. See, I said, Kankita, it is correct because I saw platinum. Did I read correctly? No, I made a mistake. So that is how you should perform in the exam. Read carefully, there might be a trap. Only 1 and 2 are correct. Great going. Ankita, what about this?
So Judith Butler argues that gender should be seen as a human attribute. That is what? Is it binary, rigid and unchangeable, determined only by anatomy, or fluid and can change based on a given context? The first three options here are very extreme and problematic. But the fourth option actually captures the essence of arguments of Butler, because Butler sees gender as fluid, as a social construct that changes or varies with the given circumstances. Option 4 is correct.
Excellent. Judith Butler is a favorite of all exams. We should know Judith Butler. According to Aristotle's Poetics, which of the following best explains the concept of hamartia in the concept of a tragic hero? Hamartia, is it a deliberate malicious act of evil? No, that's not. Is it the hero's fatal flaw stemming from an inherent wickedness of character? Wickedness, no. The hero is not wicked. He's a hero. Is it a misguided action or error in judgment? May be correct. Stemming from ignorance, leading to a reversal of fortune. That is correct. An unavoidable destiny dictated solely by the gods is wrong. So that is Hamartia, an error in judgment. The hero is not wicked, guys. Don't misunderstand him. Ankita.
So according to Theodore Adorno, in his work Culture Industry Reconsidered, what is the primary purpose of this culture industry? Is it to democratize art and make it accessible to the masses? Sounds partially correct. Next, to foster authentic creative expression among the working class? Not really. Next, to force together high and low art to turn it into a commodity, industry commodity, ensuring ideological conformity. Sounds correct. Next, to encourage critical reflection? No. Option 3 is correct. It forces together high and low forms of art, and it is sold as a commodity, and it is sold for our numb enjoyment, where we don't examine anything that is shown on the screen. We consume it in numbly. We become numb to these forms of entertainment. Yes.
Excellent. Very good. In an apology for poetry, what critical reason does Sidney provide for considering the poet superior to the philosopher and the historian? The poet relies on the speaking picture of imaginative representation rather than abstract rules or rigid facts. Well, he does say speaking picture, but is the first option correct? The poet relies on the speaking picture. What is speaking picture? Imaginative representation. I think that's correct. Maybe we'll see. The poet is a divine maker who creates a second nature, whereas philosophers merely analyze the first. The poet is a divine maker. That is a weight, V-A-T-E-S. That is the word he said. Let us read them all. Poetry is the mother of all lies and thus exempt from moral scrutiny. That's wrong. It is not exempt from moral scrutiny. Poetry is an art of imitation that focuses only on ideal forms. No. Ankita, what is correct? 1 or 2?
Here, we will go with option A because it is a bit more correct. Sidney directly uses poetry as a speaking picture of imaginative representation, and it is not rigid, it is not unchangeable, it is fluid a representation of nature.
Sidney did say poet is a divine maker, and about second nature, I don't know. Maybe Dryden said that. I don't know about Sidney. Yeah. So we can read extra and understand deeply so that in criticism and theory, we will not go wrong. If we don't read deeply, we won't be able to answer many questions. In Stuart Hall's Encoding, Decoding, the negotiated position in audience decoding is defined as, Ankita, can you explain?
So how is the decoding of the message by the audience seen by Stuart Hall? Is it complete acceptance of the dominant hegemonic message? No. It is an extreme option. Complete acceptance? No. Next, total rejection of the message. Again, wrong. Again, very extreme. There is no total rejection. Next, acknowledging the legitimate, dominant meaning, but modifying it to fit local circumstances. Sounds correct. Next, complete indifference to the message's ideological meaning. No, there cannot be complete indifference. So option C is correct. The audience receives the message. It is modified to fit the local ideas, local flavors, local ideologies. So option C would be correct. That it is modified. The accepted message is modified to fit the local circumstances, local ideologies. Option C is correct.
All right. Now the next question. This is about Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick. Which of the following best summarizes Sedgwick's argument in Epistemology of the Closet regarding modern Western culture? It argues that modern society has successfully liberated sexual desire from binary constructions. It contends that the homo-heterosexual definition is a minor aspect of 20th century literature. It posits that the closet is solely a private experience of secrecy rather than a public structural mechanism. It argues that modern knowledge is damaged if it does not critically analyze the modern homo-heterosexual definition. Three options are, even if you don't know anything about this book, the way in which the options are said, we know it is wrong. It is this that is correct. It argues that modern knowledge is damaged if it does not critically analyze. If you read carefully, calmly, you will be able to get many answers, even if you don't know the answers. That is the truth. Isn't it, Ankita? So next
Yes.
question goes to you. It's about Angela McRobbie.
Yes. So, which of the following here best describes Angela McRobbie's perspective on the relationship between postmodernism and popular culture? So, how both of these frameworks are connected to each other, according to McRobbie. It signals the ultimate decay of cultural standards through the rise of superficial mass culture. No, it does not talk about decay of culture, not at all. Option B, it represents the liberation of marginalized voices previously excluded by elitist modernist narratives. Sounds correct. Option C, it proves that popular culture is merely a simulacrum, merely is a problematic term here, with no connection to reality as argued by Baudrillard. McRobbie doesn't talk about this. Next, it indicates the total triumph of patriarchal power structures in postmodern media. No, there is no total triumph of patriarchy. Here, option B would be correct. That postmodernism, it acts as a platform of liberation of the marginalized voices who were for a long time suppressed and subdued by the grand narratives, by the grand elitist modernist narratives. That's why postmodernism is also described as an incredulity towards meta narratives, because postmodernism emphasizes instead on mini narratives emerging from marginalized voices. So postmodernism is a platform which enables these marginalized voices to place before us their narratives. That's why postmodernism is also described as an incredulity towards meta narratives, because it emphasizes mini narratives. Option B is correct.
Okay, that's good. Angela McRobbie's Postmodernism and Popular Culture is a very major work. So Kerala PSC HSST crash course is going on. There are more days for you to prepare. If you have not joined a course at Vallath, you should definitely join and get the benefit of this. Even if you're doing a course in another institute, you should still join, because it is going to be really, really beneficial. Ankita, can we show them something wonderful?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Tin, 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 tin. This is the Indian Constitution book for HSST. We have made it. And then we have 4 other books. All big, big books. Dekho. 4 other books. Tin, tin, tin. All for Kerala HSST. I'm not able to show you properly. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a big set of books. If you buy this, you can prepare for HSST, and also you can prepare with the same material for Kerala Assistant Professor exam. Even in the last minute, what you study will stay in your head. Don't worry, even if it is last minute, because that is the best time to study. And this course is going on, Creative Thinking and Writing. If you buy this course, you will get it for keepsake, that is forever, lifetime. So this is only 500 rupees. Even after the entire course is over, you can still buy it. It will really transform you. Next question, Ankita, please do.
Ma'am, you didn't say something. You
Yeah,
forgot to mention one surprise. We are starting an amazing interview course for West Bengal Assistant Professor exam.
excellent. Absolutely. We all know that a West Bengal assistant professor is not an exam, it's an interview.
Hmm, hmm.
So we are going to give you 2 months of interviews and we will get you ready. Prepare to join Vallath for that interview course. Yes. Ankita, next question.
Yes. According to Jürgen Habermas, in his work Modernity and Incomplete Project, what is the primary error of the postmodernists or young conservatives? Because he said that modernity is a failure, it's an incomplete project, it was not completed, it was abandoned in the midway, right? So, according to him, what is the primary error that was committed by these postmodernists which led to the failure of modernity, of enlightenment? He says what? That they fail to recognize that the differentiation of cultural spheres is irreversible. Not really, he never said this. Next, they attempt to return to pre-modern traditions, ignoring the necessity of enlightenment rationality. No, he never said that they want to return to a previous time, nothing like that. They abandoned the project of modernity entirely due to the failures of social modernization, confusing it with cultural modernity. Sounds correct. Next, they focus too much on communicative rationality, failing to address the need for subject centered reason. No. Option 3 here is correct. In his work, he says that the postmodernists or the young conservatives, they abandoned the project of modernism in the midway. They failed the project of enlightenment, which promised a reason and advancement, because they got confused. Right. They abandoned the project of modernity entirely due to the failures of social modernization because they got confused with cultural modernity. And modernity was not even completed, it was left abandoned in the midway. And it also left the promises of enlightenment in the midway.
Excellent. Who said that the ego is like a man on horseback who has to hold in check the superior strength of the horse? Wow, that is an expression, that is a quotation. The ego. Who would have talked about ego? Is it Derrida who talked about ego? Is it Marx who talked about ego? Or is it Freud or Lacan? Obviously, it is not Derrida or Marx. So, who talked about ego is obviously Freud. Ego, superego, and id. Freud talked about the tripartite structure of the human mind. Assertion reason question now. Read carefully. According to Edward Said, Orientalism is not a mere collection of myths about the East, okay, but a discourse that creates and maintains power dynamics between the West and the Orient. Is it true? Orientalism is not merely a collection of myths, but it is a power dynamic. I think it's correct. Said argues that Western knowledge of the Orient is neutral and objective. Said argues that Western knowledge of the Orient is neutral and objective is wrong. It is very subjective, isn't it? So we can say that R is true, sorry, A is true, but R is false. Western knowledge of the Orient is not neutral or objective. Okay. Ankita.
So here we have a PYQ from 2021. This question says language according to postmodernism is dash. So according to this theory or framework of postmodernism, what is language? Is it a means for describing objective reality? No. Objective goes against the values and ethics of postmodernism. Next, Is it a method of communicating truth? No. Again, it doesn't really fit with the principles of postmodernist ideas. Is it a jumble of non-coherent words? Yes, sounds correct. A tool of power and manipulation? Not completely correct. So here we will go with a jumble of non-coherent words, and these are the exact options that came in the exam of 2021, right? So here option C would be correct. It's a jumble of non-coherent words. And this is again a PYQ from 2021 exam. Yes.
Wonderful. Now, that is the answer. Choose the wrong statement. Derrida coins difference by replacing E in the French word difference with an A. Sounds right. Difference and difference, same pronunciation in French. Derrida argues against the metaphysics of presence that has been promoted by Western philosophy across the decades. Derrida argues against the metaphysics of presence. Yes, he is saying that metaphysics of presence is wrong. It entails logocentrism. Derrida likens difference to negative theology that denies final attributes to the superior being. Is there negative theology there? Denying attributes, final attributes to superior being. Derrida is negating any final attributes and superior on them. May be correct. Fourth, Saussure showed signs have no positive content and work through differences. Derrida takes this further. If meaning is purely differential, there is no original presence the sign eventually delivers. Deferral is infinite. All are correct, right?
Here, actually, option C is wrong because
Is it?
Derrida warns the readers that you guys might
Anyway,
feel
people
that.
don't know option C, so they should choose option C because 1, 2, and 4 are very correct. Everybody should know, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
What was their explanation for this?
So, in his essay, Deference, Derrida says that since I am saying that deference is about deferment or constant postponement of meaning, there is no final meaning that we can, stand upon. So, you guys might feel that it is like negative theology. Negative theology is an idea that talks about God by saying what God is not. We generally say God is good, God is powerful, God is loving, but negative theology says God is not limited. So negative theology negates, it predicates itself by constant negations, but it is in the service of a supreme fixed identity of Almighty. And that is the main difference between deference and negative theology. Negative theology, it centers, it has a fixed center, and that is God, the Almighty. But deference has no center, and that's the main or the central difference between these two ideas of deference and negative theology.
Excellent. So that is wonderful. We have come to the end of this session. I actively invite HSST aspirants to join our course. It's never too late. You still have a lot of time to study. So we have materials, we have classes, and these materials are useful for our assistant professor exam in Kerala. And these materials are completely revamped and only point. It is not expansive. It is not unnecessarily expanded. It is extremely point form and very, very well edited. This is not the old HSST material. Our material now is very much well edited. Okay, so you will have a great time studying it. And if you're thinking creatively or wanting to write creatively, please join our course and hone your skills. Asujit sir will help you to understand where you stand in this age of technology and digital media. This is a great opportunity for you. Thank you very much. So we end our session here. Bye-bye from me and Ankita.
Bye. Good night.
Good night. God bless you all.